Can you even believe her? She knew exactly what I meant. She knew what I meant. But she's a dumb f***. Denise, is your hat on upside down? No. And are your pants on your arms? No. Are your pants on your arms? Mine? No. Stop. I'm serious. Don't do this. Your pants are on upside down. How would that even be possible? Do not do this. I have a particular set of skills. You do not want to try me. What am I doing? You know. I can't even say right now. I don't even know how to put it into words, what you're doing. But you know, she knows what she's doing. Do not do it. Stop. Okay. But your hat is on entirely upside down. And the pants on your arms thing. Thank you. You're welcome. Everybody, it's me, Jill, and welcome to Jill Informed. This is the recap of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 13, Episode 7, Dazed and Accused. All right, right off the bat, before we even start the recap, Anne-Marie is holding a diamond. So she is a full-on housewife who just joined the season, Episode 6. So yeah. Little late to the game. I don't have a tagline for her yet. They didn't do the taglines this episode, so I don't know what her tagline is. I'm sure it'll be just as good as everybody else's. All right, so last week ended with a to be continued. We are at the Dinner Party from Hell, Part 2, or Part 3, if you're counting the one that Camille had with Allison Dubois as maybe being 1. Then Kathy Hilton's last year being Part 2. This would be Part 3. It depends. You know, it's all your interpretation of what a hellish dinner party would be, I suppose. For me, this would be Part 23. Okay, so anyway, we are in the middle of the conversation about Kyle's new ring. People were wondering if it was a gift from Mauricio for cheating. Kyle says she bought it for herself, and she's really tired of people questioning her eating and questioning the fact that she's working out and that she's not drinking. Because guess what? If I just had 2 drinks, I would get depressed. And I can't afford to feel depressed right now. That's where we left off. So now Kyle is kind of implying that she's already discussed this whole thing with the morally corrupt Faye Resnick. And Sutton, being a little hurt, said, "Oh, well, I'm sorry you didn't feel that we were as good of friends, Kyle. I don't think a friend would bring it up like that." And Sutton goes, "Well, in the other room, it was very quiet." Because, yeah, that is where Sutton brought it up. You egged her on to bring it up at the table. What do you know? If you know something, just say it, Sutton. What are you implying? Like you were taunting her at the table. So then you cannot go back and say a good friend wouldn't bring it up at the dinner table. So Sutton said, well, you know, it was very quiet in the other room. It was just the 2 of us. That's where she was bringing it up, Kyle. But at your house, though, Sutton goes, "But I was going through a lot at the time, and I'm sorry for that. And I'm also sorry for how you reacted." And Kyle goes, "Oh, thank you for apologizing on my behalf." Well, yeah, you should thank her because you probably weren't going to do it. So Kyle's done with the conversation. She's like, "Anyway, chef, what are we having tonight?" And we just start eating our THC-infused food. Not for everybody. Some people ordered it. Some people didn't. And now everyone's talking. They're making small talk, Garcelle asks Anne-Marie, so tell me about yourself. And she goes, what do you want to know, Erica? How tall are you? How much do you weigh? Do you have kids? And Anne-Marie just goes, 5'9", 160. I'm married. I have 4 kids. Kyle, did he buy you any gifts? And Anne-Marie goes, well, not those kind of gifts. So everybody starts laughing. We're talking about men. Erica would like a true fairy tale romance. She wants to meet her Prince Charming. You know, not like the arrangement she had with Tom, where she had to fit into his life. She would like to carve out her own life and have her partner meet her, and they would go forward together. Dorit says, Denise, how does it feel to be in the group again? Denise, you know what? It's so nice. I can't even do it. Something crazy happened. Is her voice changing? I don't know. Is she going through puberty? Some weird thing happened with her voice. But, you know, we all know like she's on something from the minute she walked in the door. And I also know that when the orders came around for how much THC do you want in your food, she said 0. So this was some pre-gaming going on here for Denise. Then she says, I do have a question for you, though, Erica. Why you treated me a certain way after I met you? I can say this about me and you and I. The first time I met you, you were so sweet and lovely. Then we get a flashback to how lovely Erica was. The conversation was, the ladies were asking her how she met her husband, Aaron. She said that it was at his studio and we like had sex in his office or something. I can't remember the details. And Erica goes, visions of Denise and Aaron having sex are right up there with my top porn. Oh, that is sweet. And Denise goes, and then a year later, it was a different dynamic. And Erica goes, Denise, I don't feel anything personal towards you. Denise, no. What I'm asking you is, what did I do to you? Erica, I'm not clear what this is about. Denise, well, I'll be very clear. Spoiler alert, she will not. You were so kind to me, and I thought you were so sweet. I thought, oh, she's so sweet. She's lovely. Da-da-da-da-da. And then when I came to do my... Sorry, guys. I have a terrible cold. I have such a bad cold. In Erica's confessional, she goes, well, I'm high, and I don't know where Denise is. She's on another level. In Garcelle's confessional, she said, Denise is slurring her words a little bit. She may have, had a drink before she got here. Maybe she was a little nervous. Denise, you were very different towards me. So Kyle is now so what, specifically are you referring to? What's bothering you the most, Denise? Come on, guys. We're grown-ass adults, and you know what I'm talking about. Erica swears she really does not. I mean, nobody does. Nobody does. And by nobody, I mean not even Denise. Denise, really? Erica, yes, I'm sorry. You really don't. I don't. I'm sorry. And then Denise goes, well, I don't know what to say. Yeah, we know. Clearly. So Erica goes, is it like a specific thing or is it the whole thing? Denise, the whole thing. And Kyle goes, can you give an example? Denise, I don't need an example. Go watch the show. Watch the show. That's your example. Watch it. Watch the show. Garcelle's like, oh, okay. Erica, wait, what's happening? Denise, if you need to go leave for a second, go watch the show and then come back and do this. Fucking great. Time out. Look, I agree. There's probably a lot that happened during your season, mostly your last season on the show, that wasn't very nice to you. I hated the way you were being treated by Fox Force 5. But just so I'm clear, Denise is suggesting that Erica leave the table, go watch season 10 of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills in its entirety? Because she said it isn't one specific thing, it's the whole thing. She needs to watch the entire season and then return to the table, 15, 20 hours later to continue this conversation with Denise fucking Richards? Is that it? Listen, to be fair with you guys, my memory is so horrible. Like, I can't remember what Erica specifically did. I have the general sense of, all of them kind of running her off the show for that whole scandal with Brandi Glanville, but I don't remember Erica specifically spearheading that. I'm sure there was something that I just can't remember. Maybe just that Erica went along with everything because Denise kept saying, when we met, you were sweet, you were lovely, and then what happened? You turned on me and I don't know why. Anyway, Erica says, I genuinely don't know what I did. So would you like to say what it is, Denise? And I think Kyle's like, yeah, just say it. Denise, I don't even know how to explain it. I was so fucking nice to you, and you were a bitch to me, and you know it. Erica, I do? Okay. God, you guys, Denise is exactly like me, and I'm not even on anything right now, but our brains are about the exact same. I know Erica probably did something really mean and nasty to Denise, but I can't remember what it is. And that's exactly where Denise is. She started this train and then she's like, oh no, I can't actually remember what she did. I'm just left with the feeling that she was really mean, but I can't remember exactly why. Happens to the best of us, Denise. I can remember the scene with Rinna, where she came over to Rinna's house and Rinna had that conversation with her on the couch. And then Rinna goes, ooh, so angry. I'll never forget that. But if you ask me what that argument was about, what was Rinna referring to when she said, ooh, so angry? I could not tell you. I don't know. I love these shows. I get a huge kick out of them. I laugh. I have fun. I recap it. And then really, they just kind of leave my brain. I don't think about it too much after. I mean, unless it's an iconic line or a moment or something. So Denise goes, just own it, Erica. Own what, Denise? That. So Erica, who I guess is a little high and I believe genuinely confused because we all are, says, okay, Denise, I apologize to you. First, Denise goes, and then it dawns on her that Erica just apologized. And she goes, thank you. You're welcome. This is Erica's face. What? Erica looks like, is this because I'm high that I'm this confused? Oh, God. So funny. And then, oh my God, you guys, in the kitchen, the chef is peeking through the door and he says to the other guy, dude, Denise Richards is f***ed up. Yeah, and not even on your meal. And then, just because this is sort of an Alice in Wonderland experience, Sutton opens a little box. Was that her purse? It looked like a little box. And she pulls out a joint, lights up right there at the table. And everyone's like, Sutton, what? And she goes, what? Kyle said I could. What? Was the 5 courses of THC not enough? Even the chef was like, oh God, you're just smoking a joint. That's awesome. It was funny. I do, however, question whether that's ballerina approved behavior. Just saying. but still, it was funny. So dessert is now being served. And as you recall, this is an integral part of the dinner because this is just CBD and it is meant to gently bring everybody back down. Of course, this is Beverly Hills and nobody eats dessert. So that was the one flaw in your perfectly planned meal. Maybe course number 4 should have just had the CBD. So people are getting up from the table. And Denise asks Kyle, "Can I talk to you privately?" And she's like, yeah, okay. So they go, Sutton follows them. And as they're walking to, I don't know where they're going to go. I guess they end up just over by the little bar area in Kyle's house. I don't know if that was the intention or not, but that's where Garcelle is standing. And there's a little like pass-through window that as you're walking, you can see through to the bar area. That kind of distracted Denise, and she made some sounds about that. It wasn't actual words, but it was kind of like, oh, whoa, huh? That's, yeah. It was almost words, maybe. Anyway, they end up at the bar area, and now Denise is saying to Kyle, Sutton, and Garcelle, how the does she not understand? And Garcelle said, Erica looked like deer in the headlights. I genuinely don't think she knew what Denise. She knew. She's a dumb fuck. That's what's going on there. She's a dumb fuck. Garcelle's like, okie dokie. In Sutton's confessional, she said, sometimes Denise can't say exactly what she means, but who fucking cares? If I were Denise fucking Richards, Sutton gets it. I'd be walking around naked, drinking tequila, slurring my words all the time. So now most of the other ladies join them in that bar area. And Garcelle asks, who's high? Raise your hand. And, I don't know, a few people. I think Camille says she is, and Cynthia also says she's high. There's other talking, and then Dorit notices something interesting about Denise's jacket. Now, when Denise walked in, she's in like this pink satiny like pants and top with a little like pale pink sort of bolero fur jacket. Okay. She took the jacket off while they were sitting at the table. And then when she asked Kyle, can I speak to you privately? And they got up from the table, Denise grabbed that little jacket and put it back on. But maybe not the way she had it on when she came to the party. Maybe, allegedly. So Dorit goes over to her and she quietly says to her, is your jacket on backwards? Denise, no. Very sure of herself. Dorit, are you sure? Yeah. Dorit looking at it like this can't be right. She's kind of touching the front and picking pieces up in the front, which are clearly not where they should be. And she goes, is it upside down? Denise, no. Still confident. So while Dorit is kind of like looking for where the label should be, which would be here, although I'm sure the label was down by the stomach because it was upside down. Bravo gives us a flashback to when Denise walked in, where it was clearly different. It's not backwards because it doesn't open in the back. It still opens in the front. But because it's short and there's just 2 sleeves, she literally has it on upside down. So the neck is around like her back, her waist in the back. And the bottom of the jacket is around her neck, okay? Just so we're clear. So Dorit can't find a label where you would normally find it. And she goes, I think it's upside down. Denise, is yours upside down? Dorit, mine? No. The best part is that Dorit looked like, wait a minute, am I? Dorit only had 1 milligram of THC. So come on, girl. You know your jacket's not upside down. You never took it off. Anyway, she looks down at herself and she goes, no. Denise, don't do this. Don't. Stop it. Don't do this. I know what you're doing. And Dorit's like, what am I doing? You stop it. Don't do this. And Dorit's like, kind of like, okay. But then she does lean forward and she goes, I swear, I think your entire jacket is on upside down. Oh no, not the entire jacket. And Denise just gives her a look like, really? Like, are we going through this again? You're just like Erica. Erica knew exactly what I meant at the table, and you know exactly what you're doing right now. So it's 11 o'clock and it's time for Denise to leave. And, her work here is done. Excellent job, as always. So Kyle walks her out. In the meantime, some of the other ladies are discussing their sleep schedules, how many hours a night they get. And then Kyle comes back and now Dorit has some work to do. She has to make sure that the wedge between Kyle and Sutton is still firmly in place. So she says to Kyle, how are you feeling? That was really intense. And Kyle's like, well, yeah, I'm not feeling great. Dorit, that's not what a friend would do. Do you know when I asked, where's Kyle? She said in denial about something. Kyle is like, I get it. It's not Sutton's best work. I would say she's genuinely funnier in her confessionals. But, put on the spot, this is the first thing she came up with. It's fine. Again, not the funniest thing she ever said, but no. Kyle is it's jaw-dropping. So she immediately turns to Sutton. Sutton, what am I in denial about? And Sutton goes, I don't know. Kyle's like, if you know something, please tell me. Sutton, what would I know? And Kyle goes, that's what I'm asking you. Sutton goes, I don't know. I said, it seems like you're in denial about something, but I don't know what. Then you just hear Erica who's sitting nearby. Insanity. Kyle's like, quit gaslighting me. You said it. Stop. Quit misusing gaslighting. Sutton already admitted that she said it. And Sutton goes, I said it when we were at the table. Kyle, I don't care where you said it. I don't care if you said it while you were standing on your head. Sutton. Okay, well, we all know I can't stand on my head. Crystal, Anne Marie, Erica, that got a chuckle out of everybody because Sutton actually said it like, okay, you don't have to embarrass me because I can't stand on my head. Anyway, Sutton insists that she doesn't know anything, which is frustrating because it is in all the articles we saw. We know you know something. You know who we need here? Meredith Marks. I know things that could ruin your life, Kyle. Sutton, on the other hand, knows nothing. This is dumb, but there is one interesting thing that's coming out of this little argument. When Sutton said to Dorit, I asked her about her household and her marriage. Kyle goes, quit asking me about my household. What's wrong with my house? And then she kind of walks away, comes back. And by the way, which fucking house? Yeah, little bit of a nasty humble brag there. It was kind of ugly, but also kind of telling. I don't know. Side note, who is that lady in the back in the pink dress? I don't even remember seeing her at the dinner table, yet she is really got herself a front row seat to the action and a lot of airtime. She hasn't spoken a single word, but she has maneuvered herself. If you keep watching this scene, she has maneuvered herself into a lot of camera time. Just like I'm going to stand behind who's ever speaking, who's ever fighting. I'm going to be like, yeah, she's right there. So Kyle storms off. She goes into the kitchen. Anne Marie and Erica follow her. And Sutton walks in and she asks Kyle, can I just say something for 2 seconds? I trust what you told me. There's nothing going on. There's nothing to be worried about. And Kyle goes, I didn't say there's nothing going on. I told you guys at the retreat that things have not been amazing this year, which makes it even worse that you would bring this up. And Garcelle says to Kyle, do you think something's going on with her? meaning Sutton. And Kyle goes, well, I told her I didn't know if it was like her first drink or her fifth drink. Erica, ooh. Yeah. It takes a lot to shock Erica Jane, but, that did it. Then Kyle goes on to question Sutton's foot medication. Sutton goes, before I go to bed, I take gabapentin. Side note, fun fact, that is also the medicine that we give Olive for her arthritis pain in her back legs. So my little Sutton and my little Olive are on the same medication. It does not make Olive say crazy things, though. I will say that. I wouldn't blame the foot medication. So Sutton goes, are you going to tell everybody I don't eat? Kyle, you don't. You push your food all around your plate and then you say you have some disorder where you choke and you can't eat your food. Well, that wasn't nice. Sutton goes, now you're going to make fun of something that really is something that is wrong with me. So yeah, there's fighting back and forth and she's like, I have an esophagus disorder and you're making fun of it. They're cutting each other off. There's a lot of crosstalk and the fighting gets loud. And finally Sutton says, I'm sick of fighting with you. And Kyle goes, I don't want to fight with you either. And then Sutton hits below the belt and says, you already lost 2 sisters. You want to lose a third? Erica, oh, no, don't do that. Kyle, go yourself, Sutton. You know you've had your own issues with her, but you don't want to say anything in public. And Sutton goes, oh, I'll tell everybody here what Kathy did. No, you just want to kiss her ass in public so you can go to her parties. But then you want to play that game with me? Side note, just check the placement of the lady in the pink dress. Right? Nicely done. Nicely done. She knows where to be when the action's going down, right? I mean, to be fair, so does everybody else, but at least they're in the cast. Except for Camille. But, Camille Grammer, she can have a front row seat to anything she wants. She has earned her spot. Oh, you know what just occurred to me? I think that the morally corrupt Faye Resnick and Justin must have already gone home. Anyway, Sutton goes, oh, this is about Kathy. Because if you remember at Garcelle's screening, when Sutton and Kyle had that little talk and Sutton's like, I think you're mad at me because I'm still friendly with Kathy. And Kyle's like, it has nothing to do with that. That's not even on my radar. Remember that? Okay. So now Sutton goes, oh, this is about Kathy. And Kyle, so all frustrated. No, because you just made it about that. Side note, also Cynthia Bailey is still there, which is fine because she was a housewife, but pink dress lady, are you from a show I don't know? I'm going to need answers in the comments, you guys. Who is this woman? Anyway, Sutton is happy to tell us the Kathy Hilton story. Kathy did not like that I did not stick up for her in the press. We get a little flashback to Sutton being interviewed about that whole thing and Sutton saying, well, I don't think I can really take a side in it. That's all she said. So Sutton goes on. So Kathy called me and she yelled at me. And I told Kyle, I see now what you've experienced because now I have felt it firsthand. Kyle, yeah, and you were real quiet that day when we were all together for the last time, weren't you? And then she stalks off. In Erica's confessional, she explains to us that Kathy Hilton has a lot of power. And she scares some people because she holds the keys and she can lock you out of Beverly Hills, or she can lock you out of a party, or lock you out of any kind of social standing. But thankfully, Erica has always gone rogue and she doesn't give a shit about any of that. I don't care if you invite me to your Christmas party. Ha ha! So Erica goes to find Kyle. She's like, I'm sorry, I'm your friend. And by the way, I don't think anything's wrong with your marriage. And Kyle's like, what? Has nobody been listening to me? There is something wrong. I've been saying it all along. I said it ever since we were with the Eagle Woman. I'm going through a rough patch. Something's wrong with my marriage. Anyway, everyone finally leaves, and then as Kyle's going up to bed, her staff, and I don't know who, just said, it hurts me to see you when you're sad, and she hugs her. She tells her, we love you very much. That was actually very sweet. And then she said, the thought of you and Mauricio having sex is some of my favorite porn. It really was lovely. All right, it is a new day, and we have check-ins with everybody. Over at Dorit's house, Phoenix is going through her Wednesday Addams phase. Yeah, apparently she goes everywhere with thing. She's got a thing hand that... Somehow it doesn't surprise me that Phoenix is a little... She always struck me as a little Wednesday, which I love. I can't wait. When's that show coming back on? When are we going to get season 2? Come on, Netflix, let's go. Next, we check in at Erica's shitty house, and it's just her and Laya, her assistant. Is it Laya or Leia? I can never remember. And they're putting 9 lemons in a bowl. Jeez, these lemons are enormous. I don't know if it has a lemon tree in that yard. I don't know if it's the algae from the pool. Are they using that water to water the lemon tree? Is it some sort of a radioactive situation? Unclear. But the lemon that Erica is washing is, size of a bowling ball. Next, we see Kyle go for another run without her dogs. Again, they're dying to get out and run with you. They're rushing the door every time you go near it, begging to be released. They're big dogs. Let them run. Let them get all nice and tired out. It's good for everybody. And then we get to see Anne Marie's house for the first time because Kyle ran from her house to Anne Marie's. I forgot that they don't live far from each other. Anne Marie, in addition to like a gorgeous house, a beautiful like tiered backyard where she has a swimming pool, she also has a pickleball court. I sure hope it's just not a passing phase because I guess she could always just turn it into a tennis court, right? So they play a little pickleball and then they sit down to have a chat. Kyle's like, I just wanted you to know because, that was the first time you were meeting everybody at my house that I really do love Sutton. And it was weird for her to throw that accusation out there without like saying what it was. Oh, okay, this is fun. Now we check in with the ladies who lunch. Not Dorit and Crystal. Well, it is Crystal, but this time she is with Sutton and Garcelle. And then in walks Denise fucking Richards. And Garcelle goes, oh, I forgot to tell you guys I invited Denise. So this is a decidedly different Denise. I believe Bravo even gives us a side-by-side of what she looks like today and the hot mess she was at Kyle's party. Anyway, so she sits down, and after hot water's all around, we have a brief discussion about neuropathy, which is Sutton's issue with the nerves in her foot, which is why she takes the gabapentin, which is why Kyle was talking about her medication and all that. Garcelle helpfully mentions that she just saw a documentary about it. Well, maybe not a whole documentary. She just saw something about it. And this woman had to have her foot amputated. So, bon appetit. Anyway, Crystal's like, yeah, why were we talking about that at the party? And Sutton goes, well, Kyle said that she didn't know if I had 1 drink or 5 drinks, or if it was my foot medication that was making me act crazy. So Denise fucking Richards said, wait a minute, Kyle was judging your drinking? And Sutton goes, exactly. Splits and ponytail on the ceiling. On the ceiling? I didn't get that. And Garcelle's like, yeah, sweeping the dance floor with her coochie. She goes, we've all seen it. And then, of course, just in case we haven't seen it, Bravo shows us the scene. Was it Garcelle's birthday party? No. This was It was right around the time of Garcelle's birthday party. It may have even been the same episode, but this was the party. Gosh, I can't remember whose party it was. All I do remember is that Diana and her baby husband, Asher, attended the party, even though she was in the middle of like bleeding out, just to prove that, she was it was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous. She should not have gone, but she did go, and I can't remember what party it was, but I do remember it was also the party where Kyle got really drunk. She was getting down on the dance floor. They were doing kind of like a Soul Train thing where one at a time people were dancing down the middle of the dance floor. And in Kyle's turn, it did involve a lot of floor work, shall we say. I don't know if she was sweeping the floor with her coochie, but they were definitely close friends. But it was after that, or before, I don't know, that Kyle said those horrible things to Sutton about, this isn't about your miscarriages. Almost like, nobody cares about your miscarriages, Sutton. That was all the same party. And Crystal goes, so why do you think Kyle points it out to you and not Erica? And Sutton goes, I don't know, Crystal. But I will say, as your friend, because I'm your friend, I can say this. You bringing up the thing about her sisters, that was harsh. And Sutton goes, yeah, it was a low blow. Okay, back to Kyle and Anne-Marie. Kyle mentions Sutton's esophagus thing. And she goes, yeah, and then she said she has a small esophagus. And Anne-Marie goes, a small esophagus? I'm in healthcare. That's why I'm interested in knowing what this is. Okay, but the thing is, Sutton did not say she had a small esophagus. She started to say, I have that esophageal thing, but Kyle cut her off. She never said small. And so for Anne-Marie, who is an anesthesiologist or something, but she understands, airways and all that very well. So for her, she's thinking this sounds like something Sutton made up. And I'm thinking Sutton never said I have a small esophagus. So you're basing it on what Kyle just said, which was inaccurate. So I feel like that's going to be a problem in the future because Anne-Marie's going to confront her about her small esophagus or something. Anyway, Kyle's getting a real laugh out of it. And she's like, can you live without eating? And Anne-Marie goes, no, of course not. But I'm just trying to figure it out. Does it hurt when she eats? Is it like an acid reflux thing? Like a sphincter issue? Well, Kyle just thought a sphincter was in your butt. So she's laughing like a 10-year-old boy, while Anne-Marie has to explain that you have sphincters in other parts of your body too. So back at the restaurant, the others ask Denise why she went after Erica. And Denise explains very rationally, we had a dinner party at my house and they were talking about three-ways. And my kids were there, within earshot. And they're like, oh, so you wanted her to apologize for that? And she goes, well, yeah, yes, or just at least acknowledge it. Well, that's nice. And maybe that satisfies the ladies at the table now. Or maybe they're just being polite. Because Denise, that's not what this is about. In fact, I'm almost positive that she already apologized about that. Maybe she didn't. Maybe that was just a bone of contention between those two. I don't know. But what I do know is the night of Kyle's party, when asked specifically, was it something specific I did or in general, Denise said it was just in general. And the words that Denise did manage to get out about this whole thing seemed to involve the fact that they started off great, and then a year later, Erica turned and now was a bitch to her. It's very different than you talked about a three-way in front of my kids, right? So I think somebody, after sobering up, was told, oh, here's what you said. And now she's like, well, I'm going to have to come up with something here. It's just that it doesn't line up right. So we know that's not what it was. But this is her story today. And also, this is before Crystal even was on the show. She was just talking about these wild, unsanctioned three-ways that were just occurring without going through the proper paperwork with Rob Minkoff. So I feel like in some ways that made it even worse. Okay, next we are back at Dorit's house and we're home with her and PK, and they start to talk about Kyle's dinner party. Only instead of the parts that I would tell my husband, like the whole upside down jacket story, she focuses on Kyle and Mauricio, something not very good going on there. And all PK said is, well, Mo's very busy traveling all over the world. You know he's on the world domination track. That can be very hard. I think you just need to be there for Carl. Then they have a discussion about Dorit wanting to homeschool the kids, at least for another year. PK just reminds her that he raised 3 kids before, and his feeling is that going to school and mixing with other kids is enormously important to their growth. And then he said, I know you'd keep them homeschooled till they're 18. And Dorit goes, well, not 18, but I was thinking about 14. Well, how about just another year? And he's like, no. PK is steadfast. No, he said, I get that you have been through a very traumatic thing, and there's a lot of fear in you that's irrational. In her confessional, Dorit's like, well, thank God PK has all the answers. Don't know what I'd do without him. She's like, it's been a year and a half since the home invasion, and PK still doesn't get it. She says, I lived a moment where my kids' lives were over. I saw that in my head, and that does something to a person. Yeah, I get it. I get that. I do. I don't think keeping them homeschooled is the right answer. I don't think, trying to protect them and keep them in a little box and not let them live their lives is the right way to go. But I understand her urge to do that. Next, we are at a bar with Erica, and she's meeting Mikey there. That's her friend/musical director. And she just talks about how I need to get back on the stage. In her confessional, she said, the only time I'm truly present is when I'm on stage. And the producer actually says, the only time you're present is on stage? And Erica goes, yeah, well, that and sex. Good sex, not bad sex, because, then... Anyway, apparently her new manager, Alexis, I think her name was, potentially, although I do think this comes true, but at the time, potentially gets her a residency in Vegas, which is really kind of perfect for Erica. Okay, next we have Kyle and Dorit, who get together to go for a hike. But before they do, of course, they take a second to trash talk Sutton. They both agree that her saying Kyle is in denial about something was an accusation or like a suggestion that Kyle was hiding something. Dorit just thinks that was a low blow. And then you hear this woman go, I just heard low blow. And it's Kim Richards. Yeah. Come to join them on their hike. I swear, I get that Kyle can never be on good terms with both of her sisters at the same time, but it always seems like whenever she's at odds with one of them, the other one comes around. And when things went off the rails with Kathy, I was like, can Kim be far behind? She cannot. Here she is. Kyle tells us in her confessional that Kim has been very supportive through everything that Kyle's been going through for the past year. Kim herself never really left her house during the pandemic. And she started coloring on her walls, like murals all over. She had taken some pictures of them and she has them on her phone and she's showing Kyle, and Kyle's like, Kim, like that's really good. And we see some of it, and art is subjective. This one looks like she could paint a fish room for Dorinda. Oh boy, okay. We just keep seeing more and more. And I'm thinking that her house probably looks scary. This is a Grey Garden situation happening with Kim Richards alone in her house and these paintings on the wall. And more of them. It looks like something she had done in a fever dream, or like something you would see in an insane asylum with inpatients who have marginal painting abilities. If you told me that Ryan Murphy was setting a new season of American Horror Story here, I would not bat an eye. I would not be surprised. Too harsh? Yeah, maybe. Have I crossed a line? Anyway, Kim said, I really love doing it. I even told Paris, if she wants anything on the walls for Phoenix, I'm down for doing it. Dorit goes, oh, yes. And in my head, I'm going, oh, no, he's an infant. His little brain is still developing. Anyway, Kyle goes, oh, have you seen the baby, Phoenix? And Kim, like, it's almost like it just occurred to her now that she shouldn't have said that in front of Kyle, who has never even met him. And she goes, yeah, I did. We find out from Kyle that she found out from Instagram that Paris had a baby. In her confessional, she said, my sister and my nieces are a package deal. So if I'm not getting along with Kathy, I'm cut off from everybody. We see a scene that was from earlier where she's with her daughters, they're eating, and she asks them if they went and saw Paris's baby yet. I can't remember who said it. One of them said, no, that it feels weird going there without you, Mom. And Kyle just said, listen, I don't want you to not have a relationship with her just because of what's going on with me and Aunt Kathy. I really don't want that for you. So back on the trail, Kyle's like, I don't even know how Kathy and I got here. I don't even know how we got to this point. And Kim gives some sisterly words of wisdom. She would like Kyle and Kathy to fix this. And she said, it's probably a little bit of both of you that could have done things differently. But life is too short. Life is too short. And she's right. But you know what isn't too short? This recap. So it is time for me to go. That is the end of the episode. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you liked my recap, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please consider doing so. And if you click on the bell icon in the corner, you will get a notification every time I post something new here on my channel. With the holidays coming, if you happen to do any of your shopping on Amazon, I am an Amazon affiliate. And by going through one of the links that I have listed in the description box below this video, before you do your Amazon shopping, I will get a small credit for any of those qualifying items that you put in your cart and purchase. So thank you in advance for that. Guys, I am going to be either taking next week or the week after off for the holidays myself. Probably the week after, but just so you know, my uploading schedule's gonna probably be a little crazy from now till the end of the year, just with everything going on and my daughter's coming into town and stuff like that. So just letting you know it's gonna be sporadic. But if I don't see you again, I'm wishing you all the best for the holidays. Have fun with your families, hug your families, and the immortal words of Kim Richards, life is short. So enjoy everything around you and everyone around you. If this time of year is a struggle for you, take care of yourself. I love you, and I will see you next time. Bye.